This is Mark Adams, '05 grad at FAMU.
Hi, I'm Regina Chenault, class of 1992 with Southern University.
Hey, this is Owen Lawson, Morehouse College, class of 92.
Hi, my name is Jamila Donald. I graduated from Florida A&M University, class of 2003.
Good morning, I'm Lee Packnett, class of 1986, Alcorn State University.
My name is DeGratier Daniels, and I am FAMU incoming class for 1993.
My name is Brian Elliott. I'm FAMU class of 1996.
Paris Davis, the Jackson State University, class of 2016.
Hi, everyone. This is Kimberly Evans, class of 1997 from the #1 public HBCU in the nation, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University.
And this is why I love my HBCU.
On Offscript.
I kind of feel like Bane a little bit. Like we was talking to Batman. I was born in it. I am a second generation FAMU, and both my parents went to FAMU. And I for me, like I mean, like I was a baby, and like my parents stayed maybe about like a few miles from campus, and my grandparents also stayed a few miles from campus, and like we would just be sitting on grandma's porch, and we could hear the band practicing. And that's like 6-7 miles away. So it's just in me. I am a true Rattler born. And the unique thing about that is, fam, you came and got me. I was sitting in my class as a senior at Godby High School, and I'll never forget her name is Diane Hall. She came to my class and she said, "I want you," and that was legit how it went. It's different when you go on recruiting trips or when you visit colleges, but I can honestly say, fam, you came to get me. Like, they literally showed up to my class, and that summer I was there. I was on campus.
Growing up in a small town in Mississippi, predominantly black high school, predominantly black elementary school, all my teachers were Black, and they were HBCU grads, and they repped their HBCU, and they wanted everybody to go to their HBCU. But I ended up with a mentor when I was very young, who lived across the street from my grandmother, named Coach Marvin Haynes. He was the elementary head coach for all sports, and then he was assistant coach with the varsity team. I was too small to play ball, and I was a good student, A student, so he took me up under his wings, made me the manager, made me the stats guy for the basketball team. And later on, I joined the band, and our band started going to Alcorn homecoming. And going up to Alcorn, it was just everything to me, especially being from a small town. And I say, that's where I'm gonna go to college, and I wanted to follow in his footsteps.
I chose an HBCU because that was my only choice. When I was in high school, I was recruited by my calculus instructor, who also was my trigonometry and geometry teacher, who eventually became my debutante directress. And Serene Jean-Pierre was a huge alumni advocate for Southern University. And since I'm from Detroit, which had a huge alumni base, she introduced us to other alumni. And at that point, the way I felt and the way I grew under her in the 4 years I was in high school, I was thoroughly convinced that she knew what was best for me, and I trusted her.
Why did you choose an HBCU?
I chose an HBCU because I was one of two Black men to graduate from my Jesuit high school in Tacoma, Washington. And I wanted a different experience. I wanted a unique experience. And I felt like I had earned that in high school. And there was one clear choice for me, and that was Morehouse. There's no other institution that has the unique mission of Morehouse College. So that's why, for me, it was not just an HBCU, it was the HBCU for me. I narrowed the field pretty quickly after entertaining offers from Northwestern, Southern Cal, Carnegie Mellon. it was clear to me that Morehouse was a choice.
I'll say, well, two reasons. One, I grew up being around, so I went to Florida A&M University. My dad is a graduate from the College of Engineering at Florida A&M, so I kind of grew up with like orange and green pom-poms. I kind of always was around HBCUs. However, the reason why I actually went to FAMU is I was going on a college tour, and I was going to a school in Texas, and it's crazy. The college student that was touring me around the campus is the one that told me, she was like, why are you all the way out here in Texas? She was like, the dean of the College of Pharmacy just left one of the HBCUs in Texas and has gone to Florida A&M. You should really be looking at this as a great school in your state. Like, that's what prompted me. Like, oh, I mean, I always knew about FAMU, but I hadn't looked at them in terms of like academics, terms of pharmacy specifically. I'm a pharmacist. So that's part of what happened. And I'll say one other quick story. When I was a senior in high school, the college president was Dr. Humphreys at FAMU at the time. He was literally walking around the hallways. I was at a college prep school in Jacksonville, and he was handing out scholarships, just walking up to people handing out scholarships. And it was like, okay, I mean, that was like, I need to be here. So.
Why did you choose an HBCU?
Actually, I chose an HBCU because I'm from an HBCU family. My parents actually met attending Tennessee State University and, got married. I grew up in Daytona Beach, which is the home of Bethune-Cookman University. At the time, it was Bethune-Cookman College. And when I was in 4th grade, of course, we're going to go to the Florida Classic. That was huge, still is to this day. And I'm standing there next to my mother because I'm really small. And I'm watching the halftime show. And I'm looking at FAMU's March 100 band. And I'm amazed. I'm literally, I'm spellbound. And I'm standing next to my mother and I'm telling her in 4th grade, I want to be in that band. I didn't even know how to play. The only instrument I played at the time was piano. I want to be in that band. And she said, you can do anything you want, baby. And from that day forward, I knew I was going to FAMU and I was going to be in the March 100.
A lot of going on in HBCUs today. A lot of opinions, a lot of thoughts. Some of the misconceptions I believe that are out there about HBCUs is that one of the biggest ones that we all are aware of is that we can receive a decent education. The education from HBCUs is just as valuable as any other university in this nation or any other university and higher education around the world. This is top-notch education. It is top-notch experiences, and it prepares individuals to face the workforce and society. And I really think that it also prepares Black and brown people to deal with the bureaucracy and the discrimination and all the other items that come along in this culture and society. We come out prepared to address some of those. Let me rephrase that. We come out prepared to tackle some of the issues we face in our society today.
Okay. What misconceptions are there about HBCUs?
Ooh, the misconceptions of HBCUs is that we don't know how to get along together, per se, like versus PWIs. Like we're not community field sometimes. Some people do believe that we're not informed or we're not as smart as a PWI graduate.
The misconception is that when you're not from an HBCU family or you're not from a city that has an HBCU or you're not around HBCU people, you look at HBCUs from a perspective of how European people look at HBCUs. So you really don't know. You don't understand the impact that our community has on the culture and basically on our people. So if you've never really experienced it, you're going to just look at certain things and make a judgment call and not really understand the intimacy that's behind the scenes, the love and the family atmosphere that it has. So I think that's a misconception. We could just say that because of lack of knowledge or misinformation.
Oh, it's quite a few out there. If I was to narrow it down to two, number one, I think one misconception I think some people have about HBCUs is that you don't get a quality education. That is absolutely false. At FAMU, I know I received a great education from some of the best professors that you could ever find. Number two, I think another misconception about HBCUs is that we're party schools. That is definitely not true at all. Trust me, I had to study real hard and learn how to balance my time while being an undergrad student at FAMU, and definitely it paid off for me.
What misconceptions are there about HBCUs?
Oh, there's a lot, man. That the education is not high quality, that you don't get good professors, that you don't hardly learn anything. But I think that's far from the truth. Like, for what I do in my line of work, I pretty much manage folks from all over the country that go to multiple universities, from Ivy League to your typical PWIs that are locally in the area where I reside. So in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to that. But I'll take my education over anybody's institution from that standpoint.
Thank you for watching Offscript. Make sure to like and subscribe.
And we are recording, and you can go ahead with the intro.
Hi, I'm Regina Chenal, class of 1992 with Southern University. And I am, oh God, I screwed it up.
All right, we are live. It's on you. The introduction.
Okay, I just want to get at my eye level. Look at me, buddy. Look at me. There we go. All right, ready?
Yep, go ahead.
Hello.
What's going on, guys? My name is David Rose. I'm from originally Columbia, South Carolina. I currently reside in EP, Rhode Island. And you're watching I Love My HBCU.
All right. So this is how it goes. I'm gonna do it for you. Yo, it's Abrion Scott, Claflin grad 2010, and you're watching Why I Love My HBCU here on Offscript. That's it.
Oh, yeah. All right. I bet you that shit. I ain't even name you and shit. See. All right. You're listening to David Rose. Yeah. You're listening. This is David Rose, class of 2004 from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, and you're watching Why I Love My HBCU, hosted by Offscript.
Here on Offscript. Here
on shit. See, my man, write this shit down for folks. Here on Offscript.
Yeah, here on Offscript.
All right, I'm just gonna write that part down. Guys, you're listening to David, class of 2004 from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, and you're watching Why I Love My HBCU right here on Offscript.